Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Good News ZA. Last year, that was 2025, the residents of Bergfleet found out that the WCED and the City of Cape Town had a proposal, a plan to build quite a large high school on Ruskin Road. Now, while this might sound like a good idea, when you dig a little bit further, you realize that it has been run in a very irresponsible way. Firstly, the residents of Bergfleet say that there was no meaningful, long-lasting public participation. And the reason why this is an issue is because trust is the foundation of a city. And when the social compact gets broken by not getting the local people involved, you break trust, and that's a serious issue. Secondly, the traffic, the roads and the infrastructure, there was a lot of concern around that, whether it would be able to handle such a large school. And the third reason is because the actual area of Bergfleet doesn't need such a large school in terms of the kids. And so this raised questions about where these people are going to come from and how far they're going to come from. Because it's quite well known that the wisest way to build is to build schools close to where people live so that the students don't have to travel far, because traveling can be dangerous. If you're traveling from Gordons Bay to Bergfleet to attend this high school, it's quite dangerous for that young student. But it's just much better to keep students closer to their families in case they need help. So these were the three main issues. So what happened is, as a response, and here's the good news, is the Bergfleet Volunteers Association started. About 300 people at least are now part of this group, and they have sought to bring accountability to the City of Cape Town and to the WCED. They did a number of things. They engaged with some legal action. They submitted emails. They tried to do everything, but the City of Cape Town and the WCED have been very reluctant to engage, that's obviously irresponsible on the City of Cape Town and the WCED side, because you want to engage with people. You don't just want to ignore. Now, in seeking clarity on the development's potential impact, the community submitted 2 requests under the Promotion of Access to Information Act, that's PIA, for the traffic impact assessment. Both were denied, and so they basically went to the ombudsman, and then they eventually got this document that shows the traffic impact assessment. And what they realized is that there were some serious concerns around the research, the work that the very WCED and the City of Cape Town had been doing on this. One of them being this traffic assessment. So even more questions around competency at the WCED and the City of Cape Town have been raised after this. Are they even competent enough to put together a proper traffic assessment plan? Have they actually done the thorough research to realize it, to see what they're doing, the impact it's going to make? So all this has been going. Now, a question that I've been thinking a lot about is because all throughout this, I have been actually talking to people that are part of the BVA, and they have said that the City of Cape Town and the WCED have, in many ways, ignored them. They have not been, they have regularly just sort of disregarded them. And I've wondered why. Why would the Hill-Lewis administration and the WCED, why would they take this kind of approach? And then I was reminded of a very similar situation in Fisher Haven, which is in the Overstrand, the Overstrand. And there at Fisher Haven, a very similar situation happened, where almost overnight the school was put up, and the residents, it's almost a copy and paste situation, and the residents raised certain things. And what has come out of this after building this is, number one, they are bringing a lot of kids in from far away, as far as Gansbaai to Fisher Haven, which is pretty far, about 60 kilometers, I think. And involved with this will be money that gets used to transport these students. Now, following the money is a very well-known way of trying to figure out what is happening or why people are doing certain things. And so this has made me wonder, is the reason why the WCED and the City of Cape Town was trying to push this thing through without properly going through all the processes of public participation, a proper traffic assessment, actually looking at, hold on, wait, can we build a smaller school in Bergfleet for 200 students, and then let's go build one closer to where students live, maybe one in the deep south or wherever it may be. Let's rather build lots of smaller schools instead of one big behemoth that is going to have greater impact on the area. So, I'm trying to think about, and now when you think about traffic and children traveling far, there's going to be money involved. And when you follow the money and you think about the money that's going to be exchanging hands, this raises questions. Maybe there is something happening there around the money, which is why it seems to be they're trying to push this thing through. The other thing, and this goes back to Fisherhaven School. Fisherhaven was finally sort of put together 2023, 2024. And I saw an advert by the DA bragging about this Fisherhaven School for the elections in 2024. And so this also made me think, are they trying to push this through because it's an election year? And then you will see this advert that says, vote for how amazing the DA is because they built this school. So these were two things that came to mind as money and votes, as to two potential reasons why the BVA, the Bergfleet Volunteers Association, why the residents of Bergfleet, it looks like they are being ignored by the WCED and the City of Cape Town. It could be because of these two reasons. Now, this is obviously just two theories, but it's quite well known that you follow the money. Often when things don't make logical sense, you look at the money changing hands. That's one. And obviously the other one, we all know a lot of the reason why governments do what they do is because of votes. That's also a well-established fact. So not too sure with this one, but it's things to think about. But the good news is that we see this organization that has come together to bring accountability. And I really do think, and the reason why I think this is good news is because that is really what we need to do, is all throughout South Africa, and this is not just Cape Town, all throughout South Africa, we need to organize into these small groups that pursue self-determination, group self-determination. You bring accountability, you organize, and you move in a direction. And I think that this is, amongst all the bad news, these kinds of things really do give a lot of people to think about. Well, thanks so much for watching Good News Today. Please do like, subscribe, share, and I hope you have a great day. Bye for now.